Shalom, Masimha. It's me, Wesley again. In this case, I'm making this video because it's close to Valentine's Day, and I was having trouble with the romance unit. So, in order to practice some vocabulary and some of the things I do besides normal screenshots, in case my Israeli friend is watching, and class, I would talk about something I like to do, which is Ani Ohev Lekro, which is I love to read. Now, as you know, I'm legally blind, and I've mentioned the library before. I don't want to put you in pressure for conversations. I'm doing this video because, one, I like our friendship a lot, and I enjoy taking Hebrew when I'm doing it because of that friendship, partially, but there are other reasons. And eventually, when you feel up to it, maybe we could talk more privately there about it and things like that. And I want you to feel comfortable, but this is also because you've been very nice and very kind. And this is to help open up a little bit, to show you that you're trusted, and I really appreciate it. I admire the friendship a lot. And I know I've made mistakes along the way, but this is something that I could do, and this is a way to open up and maybe not have you feel pressured, and maybe get past me being a little shy and skittish. If you'll sliha. Sliha means excuse me. And I don't want you to feel uncomfortable, because if you do, Ani meets the air. Ani meets the air, in this case, is me apologizing to her. Because Mia, I know you're watching this thing, and I know you like my accent, but if I don't translate, you're not going to understand what I'm saying, and you've been following my Hebrew progress since I started. And my Hebrew friend is going to know if I'm practicing or not, because believe me, they know. And if I don't practice, I'm not going to get any better, and I don't want to put you in the position of conversations or anything if you don't want to. I want it to be strictly something that you're comfortable with. But as I was saying, this is the player that I use. It uses a special MP3 format. I think the player has a special decompression in it, but it is a type of MP3 player, basically. This cassette would insert into this hole here, where this handle is for carrying, but it would insert in there, and it's similar to USB. And you can also download books off the Beard website, because the library program that I'm talking about is done through the U.S. Library of Congress, which is open to those that are blind or hearing impaired in the United States. You fill out a special form with information from your physician or other services that are there, and they mail you the player and send out the books, and it doesn't cost any postage. You can return them as you finish them. They used to come on cassettes, but each book now comes with a card, and there's basically 10 books, and they mark them with audio tones. These large buttons here are for someone that can't see, and then there's these dots, if you can see that. That is a type of Braille. Now, there is another set of Braille that is done that you actually have the letters in the English alphabet that you would know. The reason I know what these are by the letters is I've had some exposure. The Jewish teacher that I told you about that I went to school with, she had been instructing me for a long time when I first moved to where I currently live, which is Georgia. The state, not the European Republic. But I've known her since about the 5th grade, and I've worn bifocals since then. Actually, I'd say a little bit before that. But disabled students, I did attend regular classes, guys. I have a high school diploma as well as some college experience. I double majored. But I digress. Anyway, the books can get marked with audio tones in this case, and I do read regular sized books, but normally I have to have a magnifier. I'll go more into that later when I can talk to you privately, because you did ask me that question about why I don't date, and at some point I would like to be able to answer that question, but I don't want to put you on the spot either. It's to open up to you and help the friendship grow with what you're comfortable with. Because what I'm learning in Hebrew class uh, is, I don't want to say different, but um, etiquette and things like that, and things that are important to you are important to me too. But some of the um, nuances differ, and I don't want to feel like I'm pressuring you versus me as an American and learning to put you in a awkward position. It wouldn't be very polite, or I don't. I'm probably a little more old fashioned than most folks, but this has raised buttons so you can feel around the edges and things. If you have someone that's blind and can't see at all, now I'm legally blind, so I can see like this button's green, this button's different things. But in this case, the braille's abbreviated, and they're next to the buttons, and you would have instructions on the player. Now there is a wall outlet in this case that I would use to charge the battery, and you can take it with you. I just don't, because I typically use it at home with a headphone jack, because it does have a 3.5mm jack. So if you did live in the United States and let's say your parents were having vision problems and you needed some help, if you were to talk to me, I could help you register them for the library in the state, because it's a nationwide program. As I've said, it's the Library of Congress. They come in these plastic cases, but you can customize it based on their preferences. In my case, I get different books on various things, including some of the Jewish books that I'm learning from for classes and things like that. If I need a particular book, and I realize that I'm in the United States, and some of the books I get will differ versus where you are and things. And I don't want to put you in a position, and I sure don't want you to feel obligated. I'm learning Hebrew because your friendship is important, and I really wanted to learn. So I'm just kind of explaining things, and I don't want you to feel pressured. But basically, you insert the player, and depending on the book that I would look for the tones in the index, have it play all the way through with the audio. In this case, I don't have it charged. My battery was low, so I haven't charged it yet. I would normally charge it overnight, depending on what I'm doing, because it would hook into a standard wall outlet in the United States. Now, that also being said, there is talk of an app for those that travel internationally, because depending on where you go, the outlets do differ, especially for someone like me who may have a laptop or other various things that in the United States, that would be a standard plug in any hotel room or hotel wall outlet would do, and you would have to do it, but I would need a power converter depending on the type of current or the outlet wattage. In some cases, it may be even different wattages versus a power supply unit, but each case is different. Now, I can take a USB flash drive because they do have a website called Beard that you can set up with a sign in and download various books there, and you can get Hasefer, Iton, Magazine. Hasefer is books. Iton is newspapers. Magazines is obviously what it sounds like in Hebrew, which is magazines. I was trying to do multiple lists and just to demonstrate books, magazines, and newspapers. So hopefully I did okay with that. I'm still working on it. It does take me a little longer because I have to use magnifiers and other various things, and I'm one of the ones that has to use the ease of access sometimes on the computer. I do go back and review because of that. If we were to have lunch or dinner, you would probably see me pull out my wallet magnifier, which is about the size of a credit card, and I would use the magnifying glass on it in addition to my glasses, just to show you. My glasses are very thick. As you can see, I did clean them, but they're probably a little dirty. Again, that line you see in this shot is the bifocal line. The other lens is darkened out because, as I've showed you before or explained, I have to have my retina checked for the right eye. I have literally only peripheral vision in my left eye, which is essentially light and very close movement. I mean, my hand has to be inches from my face, and you can do this and I can see it, but the rest of it's blurry. Other than that, it's going to be, is the light on in the room or is it dark? so basically, I just darken the lens out to protect it from light sensitivity. Normally, I don't take a lot of photos because of it, because camera flash, if it gets done repetitively, it causes me to have headaches. So, now I would make an exception. Like, if you did ask me for pictures and you felt comfortable with that, I would probably ask you to have my picture taken with you because you're really nice and I would like to have some photos. But I don't want to put you on the spot either. It's because you're friendly and you understand the disability and stuff, and I want you to feel like if you have questions, you can ask me questions, but I don't want to put you in the position where you're being pressured to talk or anything like that, because I mean, I really enjoy your friendship a lot and the correspondence that we did get to have. So I don't want to put you in that position. I want you to feel like I'm trying to open up and maybe not have you feel as pressured, because earlier on I felt like I was pressuring you or putting you in a tough spot, and I don't want you to feel like I'm trying to not open up. I guess is the word I'm looking for. But that's just basically how this works. I figured I'd make a short video. We're right at about a little over 12 minutes. I don't want to make this thing long because I'd feel like I'd be rambling and repeating. But I hope you're doing okay. I know everybody's kind of shut in. But I hope you're doing all right. I miss you and hope at some point we get to talk again. But I don't want to, pressure you or anything. This is just one so I can practice my Hebrew, because I have a feeling you're going to know if I'm not practicing or not. And it takes a lot of repetition for me. So, and I did want to learn. When I told you, I promise I really want to learn to read and write Hebrew. That's the point. It's an additional language skill, and I as an American, it's a fusion of cultures, and I do want you to feel like if we got a chance to sit down and talk in person, that I'm really going to try to learn and to do things to where you feel welcome, because basically I'm of mixed heritage myself, but I'll go into more into that later. As far as my family and other things like that, when we can talk more on one-on-one. And I'm withholding the name of the person this video's for, but Mia, if you're watching this, Lahi Throat, which is I'll see you later. But that's a wrap, guys. I figured I'd talk about my love for reading, and that'll conclude this video for now.